St. Patrick's College has formed a video game club welcome for all students to participate in. The club will discuss many video games trending today and how they may influence the world. In order for the club to run smoothly and allow students to simply interact with each other, we'll need a web application that will do this. A mind map was developed to subdivide the constraints the users, the developer, and the client will encounter during the proposal. Here are the set self-determined and prescribed criteria. Here's a story. So we have the first user, Lucas Smith, a student of the college who's currently completing year 11 and is age 17. During the announcement of the new video game club, he's been interested ever since, but unfortunately missed most of the important info discussed in assembly and is unfamiliar with many things. His hobbies and interests are playing video games for the weekends when he isn't occupied with time, and specifically prefers first-person shooter games. Video games like Call of Duty Warzone and other Battle Royale titles. Lucas wants a video game club where others with the same interests can chat with each other without being at school. Second user, Ben Ferguson, a student at St. Patrick's College, currently completing year 12 and is age 18. He's been in the club for 5 weeks and encourages more students to join. He's looking forward to sharing and chatting with others about video games from the past. His hobbies and interests are reading novels and of course playing video games. He prefers genres like action-adventure or role-playing games, titles similar to Skyrim. And lastly, the third user, Amelia Williams, another St. Pat's student currently completing year 11 and is age 17. She's heard of the video game club after a friend recommended to join it, but doesn't know if she could join, knowing she's got a lot of assignments due and plays netball after school. However, she still plays video games every now and then when she has the time, but she prefers only certain genres like strategy and puzzle titles. Existing solutions. Here, we have a popular gaming messaging social platform known as Discord. The application has been selected due to its many features. The example shown is the main screen when the application is booted. First, you'll see many buttons and fancy tabs scattered around the interface. A bit intimidating to new users, but enough for most users to get used to. First, let's talk about how Discord's UI lets both pros and cons. The area annotated displays the users currently online. We can see this feature is effective in terms of knowing who's available and who's occupied or busy during the time. Located to the bottom left is a brief preview of the user's profile. To the top right, we see an Active Now area, which shows any user's friend status. The user is currently playing a video game known as Valorant. Next to the game's titles, shows the duration of how long they've been playing for. Now let's move on to Discord's most used feature, servers. So here is an example of what the server interface looks like. Discord has a lot of useful elements throughout the application, but the number of small icons and scattered buttons is an issue for those with eyesight problems or other disabilities. Another example is a popular online video game marketplace, Steam. It's known as the biggest distributor of third-party PC games on the internet and is used as an example of how these features may be adapted into the new Video Game Club web application. In the middle shows a medium-sized preview slide of new titles that have recently been released. Next to it shows the price of the video game, this one being free to play and its operating system is only available for Windows. Here we have all genres of video games a user can filter when searching for a genre they enjoy. And to the top, we have an installation of the Steam software button, a login button, and a language button. Once the user has clicked on the login button, the user will be redirected to a new page that looks like this. This is a prominent example of what a clean modern interface looks like, which will also be adapted to the prototype. Now let's move on to the user interface. For a web application to be suitable for all users, we need these features to be implemented into the final prototype. Features like large buttons and icons, which play a major role in making a website accessible or simple, to use for those with eyesight difficulties. But for it to be simple, we'll need a modern design which will be used to match any new internet browser and a color scheme that matches the St. Patrick's College iconic colors. A video game and news updates page will be added to the web application for students to keep up to date with any new video game titles released. Group chats and teacher chats will also be implemented into the website through the Conversations tab located around the top navigation bar. Students will also be able to search for their favorite video game in its new search bar located to the top, and due to the normalization of the video game datasets, this will reduce data redundancy and potentially improve performance of the web application, allowing the user to have a faster and easier experience. Data story. The first dataset is from GitHub, published by the Corgus Dataset project in 2017, and is open source, using GitHub's default GNU or General Public License. However, it does state just under overview that the data requires permission to be used. We can download this dataset as a CSV file, as shown here. Dataset 2 is a dataset by Kaggle, a subsidiary of Google LLC. The site allows users to publish their own datasets, meaning the site is similar to GitHub. However, the license is set to unknown, which may be a problem for the publisher of the Metacritic Games Stats 2011 to 2019 dataset. Just like GitHub, the user has the ability to download the dataset as a CSV file. Here is an example of the first dataset. Here is an example of the second dataset. Judging by the unnecessary extended columns in the Corgus project dataset number 1, the Metacritic Game Stats dataset 2 will be used throughout the proposal. For the file size, it's much lower than number 1. However, it still contains some impractical data, which will be removed in order to be normalized. Here is the data dictionary of dataset 2. Also, the login page, as it will have its own database for storing user credentials. The Metacritic Game Stats database has been normalized, as shown here, using a 3NF normalization method. It splits the game ID and genre headings into a separate table as primary keys. Shown is the sample data of the Metacritic Game Stats database and the login database. Proposed solution. Wireframe of the homepage has been designed and includes the login button located to the top navigation bar and, of course, the homepage. A picture will be positioned beside the About Us information located in the middle. The mobile application will have the same design, but fitted to the correct aspect ratio being 1080 by 1920. The login page consists of 2 empty fields that require the user to enter their school email and password. Keeping a modern design, most sharp edges will be rounded. Here is another design of the mobile's version of the login page. The video game and news page will display a video game's title and its description located to the middle with a picture positioned beside it. And of course, the mobile's design. The algorithms here are both the video game and the login page, which will use PHP to store information into the database. So here's a prototype of the St. Patrick's College Video Game Club web application. So this is what the homepage will look like. We've got the About Us area here. We've got the Home tab, and we've got the official website tab, which will send you to the official St. Patrick's College website. And down here is Explore. So if you click on that, it will give you more information about Us page. First, we'll just click on Sign In. So we'll go ahead and click on that, and it'll open the login page. So we can put our school email in and our password. and we can sign in. So then we're back on the home page. So if you haven't noticed, there's the video game news and the new search bar that has appeared. This is because I've just signed in and there's more features when you do that. Let's click on the video game and news tab. So this is what the video games and news updates page looks like. Over here, we can click on the top. It'll show us conversations, your profile, and if you want to sign out. So we'll click on conversations. This is what the conversations and group chats look like. So we can click on home and it'll bring us back to the St. Patrick's College Video Game Club. And if you wanted to search up the game, something like Terraria, for example, we'll search that up and we'll press enter and it'll come up. And if we got this wrong, it will not show us the game. So we'll click on more. And here is the preview of the game. And if you go back home, it'll bring us back to the home page, of course. Conclusion. Evaluation. Here are the personal, social, and economic impacts. References.